I was just relaxing snazzy here on a Sunday afternoon after I posted an earlier one, but Vinyl Rundown got me sucked in. I stopped playing records after several hours and watched a few of these videos. But Vinyl Rundown, I love your demeanor. An LA guy. Maybe sometime when I'm in LA, I go there actually 3 or 4 times. Maybe we can meet up for a coffee and a record run. Anyway, he posted some soundtracks because Eric Weinbender, is that right? Weinbender. Eric Weinbender posted a contest type of thing to get subscribers. I didn't know him. I went over, checked it out. And it's just about soundtracks. He wants a theme, any kind of theme of soundtracks. I'm not doing a theme. I'm just going to pick some vinyl soundtracks. He was talking about anything from cassettes to DVDs to laser discs, soundtracks from the 60s, 70s, thematic, but I picked 10 albums. I have all on vinyl, and a couple of them are comps, but comps by one director or one composer. So some of my very favorites, and that's not necessarily my top 10, but great soundtracks I love. Anyway, Mel Brooks, come on, right? And this is great. This is a promo copy I got when I worked in the record business back in the day. And Electro Asylum, is it white label? I don't even know. Yeah, a white label promo on Asylum Records of Mel Brooks' greatest hits, right? Everything from, Mel Brooks, right? The main title to High Anxiety, and there's Springtime for Hitler and Prisoners of Love from the producers, Hope for the Best from 12 Chairs, The French Mistake, and I'm Tired from Blazing Saddles. I'm tired. She's tired. I shouldn't do that. Putting on the Ritz in the main title from Young Frankenstein, silent movie with Burt Reynolds, but I bet you a lot of people haven't even seen this, but it's a fun record. You know, Mel pretty much sings his own stuff, and of course he writes everything. So, Mel Brooks. Okay, one of my all-time favorite movies has one of my all-time favorite soundtracks. Blow Up, a 1966 Antonioni film. And the soundtrack was written and composed by Herbie Hancock. Kind of a cool, funky 60s vibe about a photographer, kind of a surreal film, and loosely based on the British photographer David Bailey. Not really, but they used him sort of as a framing of it. Verushka, the model, is in here. Vanessa Redgrave is in here. And also, there's a scene, one or two cuts, I believe, one cut, by the Yardbirds. And it was the Yardbirds with when Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck were in the group. And there's a stage live performance of them. I think it's doing Train Kept a Runnin'. Anyway, great movie, surreal somewhat, but beautiful, very 60s vibe, UK vibe, even if it's Italian director. And a great, great, great soundtrack. I say great too much. If you even watch this, I say, this is wonderful, this is great, this is whatever. Another kind of bizarre film is The Trip from, was it 66, 67? Probably a Roger Corman film. Is it a Roger Corman film? Probably. But it was written by Jack Nicholson, produced by Roger Corman. This is obviously pre Easy Rider Jack Nicholson when he was involved with Roger Corman making these low-budget films. And The Trip is a great soundtrack by the Electric Flag, or Part Electric Flag, which is Mike Bloomfield, Barry Goldberg, Harvey Brooks. You know them too from Super Session and, the Electric Flag. And Buddy Miles, Nick Ravenitis, Peter Stanza, and basically, and also Paul Beaver from Beaver and Krause playing synthesizer. But kind of a cool psychedelic trip, obviously. So that's a good one. I'm only going to show this because he already talked about it, but I agree. 2001 is one of the all-time great soundtracks. And what I made a comment on the other thread about when he posted this. It's my understanding that Alex North is the one who composed the original score for this, but Kubrick was using all, like Richard Strauss and the Blue Danube and Awful Zarathustra, you said it better than I did, in this during the work, basically working music, the rough cut, and didn't even tell Alex North that he wasn't using it in the film until the preview. And can you imagine composing for Stanley Kubrick, showing up at the premiere in 1968, and your music's nowhere to be heard. Kind of tacky, if that's the true story. There is a CD that came out in the 90s, maybe, of the original score, the Alex North score. I have that on CD, so seek it out. Obviously, it's hard to imagine anything but what Kubrick ended up using. So, another one, kind of fun, is What's New Pussycat? Kind of a comedy sex romp. When I was a kid, I think I went to a birthday party and we watched this, which was pretty risque in the 60s for 14-year-olds. Was this 1968 or 7? So 13, 14-year-olds with Peter O'Toole and Peter Sellers, and also Woody Allen, I think Woody Allen actually wrote the screenplay to this. And you all know What's New Pussycat, Burt Bacharach, Hal David song, with the famous song by Tom Jones. So great soundtrack. At least that single alone is worth it right there. Okay, another great soundtrack. The film performance. And this is actually an import copy I have. This is a Canadian copy. The great song Memo from Turner, which I think there's a, was it Memorphous? What's that collection? There's a couple collections. There's some collection with the Stones version, sort of a, that was never officially released on one of their albums of Memo from Turner. But this is the killer version. Ry Cooder on guitar. Randy Newman's on this album, does work on, so Ry Cooder, Randy Newman, Ry Cooder's all over it. Buffy St. Marie wrote a song. Memo from Turner, obviously with a Mick Jagger vocal. Mary Clayton. I mean, it's just a great soundtrack. Anyway, Gone Dead Train, sung by Randy Newman. Another great soundtrack. 3 more. One of the also great films. Antonioni also directed it, I think, as I recall. Yep. Zabriskie Point. Now, this is a later edition, not a record store day. There was a CD that came out probably in the 90s, an expanded edition of this that has everything on it, and it's really good. It has these sequences of Jerry Garcia solo guitar, has some atmospheric Pink Floyd music, Love Scene by Jerry Garcia, Pink Floyd, Sugar Babe by Jesse Colin Young, with after the Youngbloods, post Youngbloods, I guess. John Fahey. Great soundtrack, very kind of psychedelic, moody, and one of those typical 60s bizarre films where you have no idea what the fuck is going on, but still, the scene alone with Pink Floyd's oh god, which song is it? With the house exploding. You can find that on YouTube, with the house exploding in slow motion by several angles, several camera shots, and beautiful. Another one of my all-time favorite, Wings of Desire, German dialogue, classical music. Nick Cave is on here in the movie. Bruno Ganz film. Bruno Ganz, if you don't know, that German actor Bruno Ganz plays an angel in this. One of the most beautiful black and white films ever made by Wim Wenders. Bruno Ganz just died last year, and or this year, just a couple months ago. And most people know him, unfortunately, because of the YouTube memes with Hitler. This Hitler in the Bunker, where everyone dubs over or writes over the dubbing of different, Hitler gets stuck in the subway, or Hitler is disappointed because the vinyl revolution is here, or Hitler hates that Donald Trump got elected, or whatever it is. And those Hitler thing, that's Bruno Ganz, who played Hitler. But he's also in one of my favorite films called American Friend by Wim Wenders, with Dennis Hopper in it. And great soundtrack. Arty film. Good. And lastly, an overview, just one of the great film composers of all time, Ennio Morricone. Morricone did a lot of the spaghetti westerns. He did Once Upon a Time in America. He did Good and Bad and the Ugly. Fistful of Dollars. God, what a great composer. Did The Untouchables. which is on here. This is an overview of his music, 60 years of his music, and this came out about a year or two ago. If you like Italian spaghetti westerns and that whole Morricone Italian, some of it's very lush, some of it's sappy, but a beautiful record. Anyway, that's Mazzy's 10 soundtracks as my entry. Enjoy the soundtracks, enjoy the music. Bye.